Hi guys, welcome back and welcome back to the South Korean ladder as we have once again a very interesting game here in between the two pros. We have spawning here in the lower right in the blue it is Nada with his AK, still Nada, and in the upper left in the brown it is POGURI. Sadly I don't know who POGURI is, but it should be a very skilled player. As you can see 300 APM. Nada however very chilled here with 80 APM, so perhaps he's just drinking a coffee, maybe eating a sandwich, being very relaxed here with a very low APM. I guess not a high APM is needed for him into the early game. This will of course change in time. We have a very interesting game, 26 minutes of a replay, very nice here onto a 4 spawning location map. As they're chatting now here into Korean, sadly I don't know what exactly that they're talking about, but yeah, it's a Terran versus Protoss 4 spawning location map. Nada is back on the Korean ladder being very active. And yeah, we should have a very interesting game here in between them, as we will check of course the build order just like we do in the previous replays here onto this channel. Standard build order here, no cheesy gameplay by each one of them. Really standard stuff here with a gateway for the Protoss, and very soon it should be a barracks for the Terran. So yeah, nothing out of the ordinary, pretty standard stuff. Very nice chatting going on here, as the APM is also going very high now for Nada as well. We do have a very early gas for the Protoss, so no intentions for him to go for a fast expansion build order, as Nada already scouting here the map at the 1 minute and 50 second mark. So pretty standard scouting here for any Terran, 1 minute and 50 second, the normal timing to move out with your SCV. And of course this is very important for the Terrans to check out what the Protoss is up to. In case it would have been a fast expansion, a timing push could follow up here by the Terrans. They are very strong early on with some Marines, some Vultures, and even some SCVs in the front to build some bunkers in order to give protection towards those Marines. But yeah, sadly here for Nada, he scouts the wrong map. Now in comes the probe, he sees the scout, so he might now think that it is indeed the lower right part, as we do have the expansion going up here for Nada. No expansion yet here for the Protoss. He's going straight for early Dragoons for him. Could be even a hidden proxy with some robotics facility. Let's just see what exactly his plans are, as now they will soon find each other. There's the probe, there's the SCV, sees the upgrade for the Dragoons. So very good upgrades here, the range upgrade for the Dragoons. So it could be 4 Dragoons, 5 early on here for the Protoss in order to harass the expansion point here for the Terran. So this will of course force Nada to go into a bunker, and perhaps even some tanks on the high ground will also be much needed here onto this location. So yeah, there's the bunker already. Nada knows the build order here from the opponent. So yeah, we even have the first Dragoon moving out, as the expansion should be secured of course here for Nada with 2 Marines, and I believe his factory will also be produced very soon. Yeah, there's the SCV, other SCVs are getting transferred, so yeah, pretty good stuff here by him. Let's just check the Protoss now, also going for an expansion. So after seeing Nada go for an expansion, he's also deciding to take his expansion here as well. Sniping the SCV, very nice stuff. He could still hide a proxy somewhere, as now Nada pretty much has no idea what exactly the Protoss is up to. Could be he could even cancel this expansion and go for a robotics facility bay. He could go for some Dark Templar rush. It's also very popular here for the Protoss. It's another factory is getting built here, so very fast second factory here for Nada. It's not that many SCVs are mining. Actually, he does have many SCVs, 23 for him, 22 for the Protoss, as the Protoss is now waiting for the range to be done in order to just deal some damage towards the bunker, in order to force the Terran to spend some minerals to repair this bunker right here. So pretty good harassment here by the Protoss. Nice stuff by him. His expansion is about to get finished. Some probes to get transferred, as we also have the robotics facility bay. So this should be an observer early on, of course much needed against the Vultures from the Terran with the mines. And yeah, actually Nada deciding to go for some tanks. So he's playing early on defensively as the civs are still repairing this, but a nice sneaky move here by the Protoss. A very fast second expansion here for him. Let's see for how long Nada is going to... How long is it going to take here for Nada to find out about this? Of course, he's now thinking that the Protoss goes for mass dragoons and gateways on a 2 base, but the Protoss nicely bypassing this with another expansion here into this location, adding more gateways. Nada has no scan available. He could go, of course, for a starport in order to do some drops. We saw that the Terrans really like to do this early on, and it's actually very effective versus the Protoss to snipe those probes. Not very well defended here, so a starport could be a good idea. As you can see, the Protoss is pretty much blocking the entrance here, so a dropship could easily do a drop here with some vultures, as there's a good blocking here in the front, so the Terran could just turtle up here into his main and then go for some dropship harassment, but Nada not deciding to go for that. He's actually going into mass factories here for him, so it's going to be a very nice mech strategy here for him versus the Protoss. It could also be a timing push at around the 11-minute mark. However, a science vessel might also be needed here for him in case there would be some Dark Templars. So let's just see how this is going. He's actually going into mass tanks, no vultures for him, as the Protoss just keeps on pumping out more and more probes, and very soon he's going to have more workers here than the opponent. So Nada has to make something happen. He still doesn't know about that expansion there. The control is pretty much in favor here for the Protoss, as he has those dragoons in the front, expecting of course a move out with some vultures by Nada. And yeah, finally the vultures are getting produced here, as we also have an engineering base. Still no satellite here for him, another supply depot. So yeah, Nada pretty much blind now, doesn't know about this expansion right here. Some dragoons are getting produced, as actually mass dragoons are getting produced here for the Protoss, and we might see some high templars very soon. A good unit to have versus masses of tanks with marines, but actually we do see Nada now move out. A very good timing push here by him. Let's see how the Protoss is going to react towards that. He does have an observer, that's very good for him. He does have range for the dragoons, pretty much crucial. He even has vision now for those tanks, as Nada is pretty much guessing that it is indeed a expansion here, or is he's actually ignoring the 12 o'clock here, so he still thinks it's a 2 base Protoss, placing some good mines, but there are observers in the air giving vision, lots and lots of tanks, but also lots and lots of dragoons here. Siege tank ability, I believe, is not done here for Nada, so interesting move out by him. But without siege tank ability, this is going to be pretty much a failed move, as the dragoons will hold. So I guess Nada was hoping that there would be some zealots for the Protoss, but yeah, just pretty much mass dragoons for him. Very good defensively, as he's pumping out more and more dragoons. So sadly here for Nada, pretty much a failed timing push. A little bit impatient, even though he had an expansion. Decides to move out with mass tanks, some marines, some vultures. And he still has no idea about his expansion right here, so a good advantage here early on by the Protoss, a good hold by him, and the observer still give good vision here into the air, as we see the first shuttle move out with Dark Templars. So let's see if Nada is prepared for that. He is now making a turret, and I believe his main should also have some turrets as the shuttle is arriving here, but yeah, the Protoss just pretty much ignoring that, just going straight for the units here from Nada, sniping the tank perhaps here. So good abusive gameplay here by the Protoss, as he's going for some more kills. There should be a turret finished here for Nada, actually he has 2, so he's well prepared for that. And yeah, still the Protoss having the advantage, sniping some units now, just showing his presence here. His expansion is still pumping mineral, some probe sadly for him on idle. But yeah, the defense looks very, very good for him here, as we will pass good 10 minutes mark very soon. So yeah, even a cannon versus the vultures. More dragoons actually here for the Protoss, pretty much mass dragoons for him. No zealots yet, just pumping out now. Finally the first zealots will arrive. Speed should be done here, and you can see so much production here for the Protoss, as his macro game is pretty much kicking in. He's even preparing another expansion into this location, so yeah, Nada really has to make something happen. He's going to be really, really far behind if he allows the Protoss to just keep on expanding. he needs perhaps some scans very soon onto the area. Finally he saw the expansion right up, but it is nicely blocked with some pylons, a good presence by dragoons left and right, and even yet another expansion here for the Protoss. So yeah, like I told you, if Nada allows this to happen, he's going to be so far behind, he might even lose the macro game, as the Protoss is very likely going to overcome him with massive amounts of gateway units. Perhaps even adding a arbiter, even some carriers later on could be a smart decision by the Protoss, sacrificing some units, some gateway units, and then just hiding some starports and just pretty much surprising the Terran, as the Terran has no Goliaths, of course. Still a good macro game here by Nada, but now he's pretty much getting forced to defend his expansion here. He knows he's a little bit behind. The Protoss just keeps on expanding all of the map, having good double groups here of dragoons just in case some army move out is happening, and having so many gateways for him. I still don't see a starport, so it's just pretty much going to be sheer masses for him. Let's check his upgrades. I believe I didn't see a forge, so yeah, it's going to be 0-0 of upgrades. And finally there is one forge, and we actually do have an arbiter tribunal, so I'm pretty much blind with stasis field about to get finished. So it's going to be arbiter gameplay with stasis traps versus the tanks, as we pretty much on the half time of this game. So now a small stalemate, both players are pretty much preparing their macro game. Nada on the defense, a little bit behind worker wise, but yeah, with some good tank positioning and with some good upgrades for those tanks, he could of course gain the advantage into this game. So let's just see what's going to happen. Some probes are getting transferred, more and more gateway units will be produced, as the Protoss slowly but steadily is moving here forward in order to gain more map control, and his observers are also nicely placed here onto the map, seeing everything that's happening. But it's just dragoons here for him, so the tanks will of course be able to hold this, as yeah, there we even have recall being upgraded here for the Protoss, so some good recalls will of course be very nice. The Protoss, interesting enough, decides to attack with only dragoons, takes some damage here, needs to be careful not to lose so many of his units. I said the defenses look very nice here for Nada, good mines for him. The Protoss might bypass this with a shuttle gameplay. It's just a probe here, so he's just pretty much going to expand all over the map, trying to keep Nada at bay. And yeah, let's just see how the game is going to continue. Nada in a very defensive gameplay positioning, Protoss with a more stable economy here for him. Go moving out, waiting of course for speed lags to be finished, and then I believe he's going to very likely try to crush Nada here. Let's see what's going to happen. Is he going to move forward? A little bit impatient. He needs of course those speed lags for the zealots in order to move forward. Upgrade wise, I believe he has one weapons done. Let's have a look at Nada. Not all siege tanks are sieged up, but that's okay. One weapons here for him as well, as the attack is going to happen very soon. Either that or he's going to try a recall. And yeah, he just keeps on expanding all over the map. So very nice macro game here by the Protoss. The attack is about to get started very soon. There's another expansion here, so while showing his presence here, he's also expanding all over the map. Finally Nada reacting with some vultures. And yeah, the Protoss pretty much untouched by that. He's actually moving here forward with his units. There is vision for Nada. He has the turret. There is the arbiter in the front. The great stasis trap in the back, as the zealots are now in the front doing a good job. The reinforcements are pulling here forward. Of course, Nada on the hold with his tanks. Zealots are still in the front. Lots and lots of numbers here for the Protoss. A very good attack by him. And Nada now suffering already his expansion, taking some damage. The Protoss nicely just going straight for the command center. Very nice move by him, not to go for the SCVs, just straight for the command center, just denying so much mining time here for Nada, and now even going for the SCVs. So a great move here by the Protoss. Sadly here for Nada, he's not really punishing the economic gameplay and the macro game here from the opponent, and the Protoss pretty much with a crushing move at around the 13-minute mark, taking out the expansion, taking out so many tanks. So now only a miracle is going to save Nada here. Of course the Protoss did take some damage, but as you can look at the minimap, he has just so many bases around the map. Nada has to punish this with some vulture gameplay, with some starport. Finally there's the starport, but I believe he's only made it for the science vessel. So now the Protoss having the economic advantage, 7 more workers, and the positional advantage here onto this map, as he has so many bases. and he could transfer some workers very soon into another location, into another expansion. So yeah, Nada, like I told you, needs some miracle here, some vulture, great vulture gameplay. A dropship could also do some miracles, as this expansion pretty much exposed here. This one well defended with some cannons. I believe the Protoss is going to very likely go for some defensive cannons here as well. There's only one cannon here, so Nada could also punish this one. Lots of units here for the Protoss, so it could be very hard for him. And now we even have some high templars. So yeah, the expansion is getting rebuilt. Nada is behind into 10 workers. As you can see, even from the supply wise, Nada pretty much behind here. And let's see if the Protoss is going to try a recall versus perhaps the production buildings here from Nada. It could be a good idea by him. Currently he's just staying here at home, but I believe his arbiters will move out very soon towards the expansion here from Nada, either the expansion or the production tabs. If the production buildings are a good choice here by him, he's going to try to kill some factories. Let's see what's going to happen. A great recall, sadly here for Nada, not having enough defenses. And let's see what the Protoss is going to attack. Going for the turrets, going for some SCVs here, actually for the armor, so very good snipe here by him. Even the science facility now is going for the starport. I believe he's also fearing a drop, so a drop could of course be very deadly versus him. The science vessel is also good with EMP shockwave. But yeah, very pretty good drop here, causing some chaos into the base, forcing of course Nada to unsiege and come back. So Nada losing some supply depots, science facility, starport. He's going to be able to snap this, but yeah, a good recall here by the Protoss as he is moving forward. Let's just see the upgrades. 2 weapons for him, and let's just check those tanks with the upgrades there. 2 to 1, pretty good upgrades here for him. But yeah, economic and positioning wise, the Protoss on the advantage as he's just adding more and more of those gateways. So a very hard game indeed here for Nada, but the Protoss could of course do some mistakes. Let's see if this is going to happen. Some Dragoons could be snapped here in the front. Vultures giving good cover towards those tanks as slowly but steadily we close towards the 20-minute mark. So Nada now finally finding the courage to move out. I believe his next targets will be the newly established base into the upper right part. Yeah, but the Protoss has so much of a supply here. So let's see if Nada is going to be successful here into sniping that. The Protoss has the high ground. There is vision however here for Nada. There's good upgrades for those tanks. So this expansion is very likely going to be snapped. The next target will of course be here into the upper right part. Yeah, in comes the Protoss. The arbiters are in the front, and yeah, those stasis traps are pretty much on point. So many tanks have been taken out, around 7 to 8 tanks here not participating into this fight, and of course it's going to give more advantage towards the Protoss here. So yeah, those arbiters doing a great job here. Now we even have high temper storms. Reinforcements are pouring in here forward, but they're immediately getting stormed. So much splash damage is being taken here by Nada as his supply is dropping quite low towards 100 of a supply here, and more storms, pretty much getting rid of everything Nada had here. So yeah, great position here for the Protoss indeed, even going for an Archon now and keeping his expansions alive. That's pretty much more important for him. However, Nada does have some good reinforcements arriving here, so with that he's taking out the Dragoon. So he's still into this game. He has to snap the expansion. The Arbiter is going to get killed as the expansion is now under threat. Finally, a good position here for Nada as he has to hurry up. He has to kill the expansion as fast as he can. The Protoss already reacting, moving the probes into the upper part, having the high ground here, having some gateways. I believe he's even going for a cannon here. So good defenses, of course. Tries to bring some units here behind as this High Templar looks like he's flying here. So yeah, let's just see. Nada now in a good position, slowly but steadily moving here forward. There will be some cannons finished here. We even have an Arbiter, and that Stasis Trap is just very smart move indeed here by the Protoss. So very intelligent gameplay here by him. With that, he pretty much blocked the entrance. So Nada has to siege on the low ground. He's going to be able to snap those cannons, but this expansion is still pumping out more and more minerals. And I believe, no, the Arbiter has no more energy, but with the second stasis field, it will have been even greater here for him. However, he's now moving forward, and he might try to do another attack into this expansion point. either that or take control of the middle, take control of the reinforcements here from Nada. Let's see what's going to happen into this game. The Zealots are also moving here. Oh, there are tanks, however, defending this, and Nada actually also nicely expanded here throughout the map. A good EMP shockwave, and in comes the Protoss moving forward towards the newly established base here from Nada. So he's having his Zealots in the front, he's dealing more and more damage, and another attack happening here. So POGURI being over the place here, doing a double attack. His economy is of course allowing this to do him. So yeah, this has been cleared. However, he still has units into this location, sniping the gas. Very smartly done here by him. I believe the next targets will be the SCVs, as the Zealots are still alive here, and the reinforcements slowly are pouring forward here for Nada. But yeah, the Protoss just keeps on sniping unit after unit, SCV after SCV. Sadly, the SCVs are not reacting, not attacking here. Finally, some vultures will be able to save them. And yeah, the Protoss doing his job. At the same time, Nada now finally moving here forward, should be able to take out this expansion, and he should also be able to take out some workers here for the Protoss. So finally a good move. Nada also sniping 2 expansions here from the opponent. So very nice job by him. So he's still into this game. He has defended his expansions. He is also going for another expansion. So now pretty much taking control of the right part of the map. And yeah, what an interesting game we have here, as the Protoss once again deciding to move out with very good upgrades. 2 armor, 3 attack. Sadly for Nada, I believe this base is now pretty much doomed. Only some great defenses from the back, some great reinforced gameplay could save him. Some great mines are getting some good connections. So yeah, the reinforcements should arrive here also for him. So Nada is able to hold. At the same time, he's also... Oh, hold on, we do have a surprise here. We do have some carriers, and this is what I told you. Where exactly did he hit those... even I can't find them, those starports, those Protoss starports. I believe into the main. Yeah, yes, indeed, there they are. And there's another one, I believe. Those were also used for the arbiters, but now the Protoss smartly transitioning to carriers. So this will of course force Nada to go into mass Goliaths. He's only saving here. How many carriers do we have? 4 is a crucial number. We actually do have 5 here for him, as the carriers will march forward with the interceptors. And yeah, with that, Nada even into more and more of a trouble. He's nicely reacting here, moving forward, snapping those expansions, but taking some great damage, splash damage here out of a couple of high templars. So very good move here by the Protoss. And yet another storm, getting some good connections. So many tanks are getting snapped, which is actually pretty good here for Nada, as he has to transition into some Goliaths, but the numbers of the carriers are just growing here. 2 more carriers do join the attack. There's still a healthy... actually, there is not that much of a healthy economy here for the Protoss. He only has this base, and this one is pretty much under threat now. I believe the Protoss should hurry up and go straight towards the production buildings here from the opponent, but the Goliaths are here. They will be able to hold. They are going to snap some interceptors now, finally going for the carriers, but one Goliath after the other is going to be snapped here. So now the Protoss pretty much has to hurry up and just snap those production buildings from the opponent. This should be the next targets. Of course, now that's going to try to buy some time, even bringing his SCV forward. The Protoss pretty much ignoring this. He knows, of course, he has to snipe the factories here where the Goliaths do come from. At least that's what I would do. So yeah, he's going for the engineering bay here as well. There are the Goliaths, and even the science facility seems to be important here for the Protoss, trying to find a good position here for it, and now finally going for the production building. The Goliaths, of course, not being able to attack those carriers. Is actually going for the expansion here, so wants to have the economic advantage. The expansion falling lower and lower. Another Goliath has been snapped. Lots and lots of interceptors to get snapped here as well, so the Protoss has to be careful. Of course, a good base has been snapped here for him. It's still anyone's game here. Those Goliaths are doing a great job for the Terran. Lots and lots of Goliaths here indeed. And with that, the Protoss actually getting pushed back here. So Nada with a great comeback here, if you ask me, sniping more and more of those interceptors. The Protoss is nicely kiting those carriers back and forward, trying to find a good position for them to hide. And now we do have a Zealot transition. Let's see, the factories are still alive here for Nada. That's very important. The Protoss deciding to go for the expansion. Was that a wise decision? I don't know. Perhaps this ledge would have given him a advantage, as the Arbiter is now moving forward with some Zealots, with some Goliaths. And yes, still a very high supply here for the Protoss, but worker-wise, all of a sudden Nada is having the advantage here, as he has rebuilt this expansion right here. But the Protoss seems to be having the better positional gameplay here, as even the high Templars. And look how smartly the Protoss is bringing his carriers here into this location. No vision for Nada, but he has so many Goliaths here for him, as he should be able to snap so many of those interceptors. And with that, the Protoss actually losing more and more minerals. And now finally the Zealots are in the front. They will be able to give cover towards those carriers. But yeah, like I told you, not that many interceptors being that now. Some great storms. Nada sadly not reacting here. It's going to take so much damage. And the Zealots in the front with those upgrades, very good versus that. Even pulling the mines. And now look at how not that many interceptors are being left here. So very good gameplay here by the Terran. But yeah, in the end, the Zealots and the Dragoons were the winning move here by the Protoss. Sorry, yes, by the Protoss indeed. Very good transition here by Nada. Of course, a forced transition into those Goliaths. But yeah, the saving grace here for the Protoss, those Zealots and the Dragoons, of course. Lots and lots of carriers. Indeed, a interesting decision here by the Protoss, not going for those factories. He went for the expansion. But yeah, in the end, it was just way too much for him. And he overcome Nada with a very great gameplay here by him. POGURI, I don't know who he is. He played really well. A very nice transition for him into those carriers. Nada also played very well, but sadly the early game wasn't very good for him, and he pretty much allowed the Protoss to gain the economic advantage, and with that, of course, the macro game nicely kicked in. He even later afforded those carriers. And yeah, a nice gameplay by both players. A very long replay, very nice play here by them. And yeah, in the end, carriers with Zealots and Dragoons and even Arbiters here. So yeah, a very good example here. Let's just see how many units were produced here. Not actually having more units, also killing lots and lots of units. But overall, let's check those resources. Yeah, the Protoss having almost 50,000 more minerals than his opponent. So yeah, with that, of course, having the advantage into this game. Nada with a great comeback, but in the end it was just sadly too late for him. A very good game here by both players. I hope you enjoyed. It's Tommy signing out.